Okay, so in a couple of days, I recorded a video, even though I've not yet uploaded that video. But while I was editing the video, I discovered that I explained a bass line I created using the arpeggio. And I figured that it's going to be very helpful for us to learn what the arpeggio is and how to apply them. Now, I'll strongly encourage you to stick around to the end of this video, because I'm not just going to be explaining what the arpeggio is, and I'm going to also be showing you guys the most basic way of applying the arpeggio and practice tips that you can use to get on the arpeggio game. Now, if that sounds like what you want to learn, grab your notes, grab your bass like I have my pen, and let's get into the video. Arpeggio is when you play the notes of a chord one at a time without having to play them together. For example, this is a chord, right? Which is the C major chord. Instead of playing like this, you can play it like this. Right? This is now as a chord. This is now as an arpeggio. Or you can go ahead and call the arpeggio or refer to them as broken chords. Most times you can also hear people call them broken chords because you already know the chords are together. Right? But when you play them in single, so you are breaking them apart. You get? For example, if you have the C major arpeggio, which is going to be, which is made up of the C, E, and G, right? Playing the note one after the other, right, is basically referred to as C major arpeggio. Same thing applies if you have the D minor arpeggio. Now, I'm playing them one after the other like this. It's still the same thing as saying you're playing the D minor arpeggio. Same thing applies for the E minor arpeggio. Same thing applies for the B diminished arpeggio. Right? So now let's quickly look at the importance of knowing how to play the arpeggio. That's one of the basic reasons why I decided to do this video, so we can learn the importance of the arpeggio and how it's going to help you play better as a bass player, and also learn how to apply, which is in the most basic form. So if you guys want to see me do more videos like this, I'm going to know with the engagement of this video, and I'm going to do a bit advanced version of this video. And if you're just tuning into this channel for the first time, do well to hit the subscribe button. I know you're already getting value in the first 2 minutes of this video, and you don't want to keep missing out in videos like this. So let's get into the importance of it. Now, the importance of learning how to play the arpeggio, or learning the concept of the arpeggio, is that it helps you outline chords without clashing with the harmony, okay, especially with the keyboard and other instruments. Now, let's say, for example, you have a guitar player, you have a keyboard player. Now, these guys tend to play more of chords, especially the keyboardists, right? You get to hear them play maybe. Something you hear them play. Now, as a bass player, you're not supposed to come and start playing the same chords the same way they are playing it. So most times you might end up playing just the root note. Now, how do you want to make yourself sound better while they are playing their same chords that they're playing? It's through the help of the arpeggio. So basically, you are trying to outline what the keyboard is already doing, right? Without having to clash with the keyboard sound or any other instrument on stage playing the chords, right, with the arpeggio. Now, the next thing we want to look at, which is the number 2, they give your bass line more melodic structure. So when you're playing, like we said in the number 1, you don't have to clash with the keyboard player, right? And then you have a better understanding of what's going on other instruments. So if the progression is 1, you know which notes you're going to be adding on the C major. You know 1 is your root, which is like the C major. You know what chords that consist of the C major chord and how you can arpeggiate them to be able to sound better in the groove. So now the next thing we're going to be looking at, which is like the number 3, is they help you play more intentional and musical. So when you understand the concept of the arpeggio, you're not just playing what you like, right? Or what comes to your mind the way you like it, or the way you want to just play, because you already know that, okay, whatever I'm doing, it has to be intentional within the chord, right? Within the notes in the chord. And it has to be musical. So as long as you're playing within the notes of the chord in arpeggio, let's say the progression is 1 4 5 4, which is C, F, and then 5, G, then F. So whatever you're doing within the C major arpeggio, F major arpeggio, G major arpeggio, it's not going to sound outside the music. Okay, so it helps you play more musical. Now the next thing we're going to be looking at under importance of arpeggio is that they are also the foundation of mini groove. Now a few days back I got a question on TikTok and somebody said, how do you guys get to create bass lines from just knowing the progression? Now I think this is going to answer that question. Now once you know the progression of the song is a 1, 6, 4, 5. Now the fastest and closest way to build your ideas from is the arpeggio, right? Because by just playing, okay, let's say 1, 5, 1 with the progression is 1, 6, 4, 5, right? We have 1. Now this is already sounding groovy and crazy. Now if you want to learn the advanced way of playing the arpeggio, like I said, I'm going to know if I'm going to do the advanced version of this video from the engagement of this video. Okay, so this is already a way of building what you're going to do, because from the advanced way I already know what to do to make it sound advanced instead of sounding basic, like you already know from hearing. Now if you pay close attention, you already know that this is the arpeggio, and I still bet you that people that will not still know that you are playing arpeggio from how you decide to play it. If you want to know, comment in the comment section. Now let's quickly look at how to apply this arpeggio, which is like the juicy part that everybody is waiting for. Now let's say we are in the key of C major, right? And then we have a progression of 1, 6, 5, 4, right? Now if you look at, we can build a bass line from this using arpeggio of each of the chords. So instead of just playing, first thing you want to ask yourself is, what are the notes that consist of each of these arpeggio? Now we have on the C major arpeggio, we have C, E, F, and then on the A minor arpeggio we have A, C, E, and then we have on the F major arpeggio we have F, A, C. On the G major arpeggio we have G, D, and D. Now instead of just hitting the root notes of these chords, try walking through the chords with arpeggio. That's exactly what I showed you guys previously, right? So if I have a beat, 1, 2, 3, go. So definitely the keyboard should be playing something like. So now it will not be nice if, as the bass player, instead of locking the groove, I'm also doing, or just playing the 16th note kind of feel or 18th note kind of feel. Okay, now I'm going to be leaving you guys with practice tips that will help you master the arpeggio and know how to play, because one of the things that I've noticed so far is that it's one thing to know that you can apply the arpeggio, and it's another thing to be able to remember how to play this arpeggio and know when to play them. So now first thing you want to learn on this arpeggio is mastering all the chords in arpeggio format, right? Like breaking them down. So you have the 7 notes of the major scale. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Now the first thing I want you to do is to master them individually. Take a key, maybe key C or any key you want to take. So play them. Which is the B diminished arpeggio. Now I can show you something that just happened on the B diminished arpeggio, which is going to help you understand what I'm saying here now. The B diminished arpeggio have a different shape pattern, but the C major arpeggio and the D minor arpeggio has their own shape pattern. So when you master these different shape patterns, wherever you find yourself, you can actually infuse them in your play. So let's say, for example, you have a song that is going like, do you see the shape pattern I used for the C major arpeggio? It's not the same with the A minor arpeggio, which is one of the reasons why you need to master them, so that when you're playing any of the arpeggios, you know as the chord progression is changing, you don't go to your A minor arpeggio and play the same shape pattern you're supposed to do for your C major. It sounded off. see that it's going to change how it's going to be sounding. So take your time, master all the arpeggios, know their differences, know how you can apply it. So when you get on stage, you know what you can do and what you cannot do. This is why I recommend you check out the 12 days of mastering the 12 keys in music. It's going to help you understand this better. Now, after trying to master all these arpeggio, the next thing I want you to do is to pick a chord progression, maybe 1 4 5 4. But most time I recommend you pick a chord progression that allows you to play from the major to the minor. So you switch between the major finger patterns and then do you see that? So that way, just jam to that with the chord progression. Just keep a beat in your head. Very simple. Make it groovy. But then this is an exercise that is going to warm up your fingers and help your coordination, because switching from finger patterns is a lot. Do you see that? Very simple. Alright, so that's a quick intro on the arpeggio. If you want me to do a more advanced version of this video, let me know in the comment section. And I'm going to see you guys in the next one. Peace.